Good morning. When you drive defensively, you're always looking for trouble. Not that you want to cause any, but so you can defend yourself against other drivers and the trouble they can create, whether they're speeding, tailgating, or just not paying attention to what they're doing. Other drivers can put you at risk, but they're not the only problem. Most road accidents happen after sundown when darkness makes it harder to see. Rain, snow, and ice can send you out of control, and sometimes your vehicle itself can let you down. So how do you defend yourself from all this? You equip yourself with the knowledge you need to reduce or eliminate these risks. So let's go ahead and begin with the basics. You're driving defensively, you should always be thinking about a way out, an escape route to get you free of any trouble you may encounter. To help create this, you need to put a safety cushion between you and the vehicle on the road around you. First, establish a safe following distance between your car and the vehicle in front of you. Then stay in the center of your lane to allow plenty of side space and pay attention to the traffic behind you. Make sure you check your mirrors regularly to determine the appropriate following distance. You can use what's called the 3-second rule. Watch the car in front of you. When it passes a landmark like a tree or a telephone pole, you then count how many seconds go by before you reach the same point. If it takes you less than 3 seconds to get there, slow down and back off. You're too close. You can use this counting method to adjust your following distance when you run into a challenging road conditions. For instance, when you're driving in heavy traffic, add 1 second to your 3-second following distance. For night driving when visibility is limited or bad weather, add 2 seconds. Add a second or two for any other condition that you feel increases your driving risk. Everyone's favorite is eating that sandwich, drinking coffee while you're driving or talking on your cell phone. When you're behind the wheel, it certainly seems harmless enough, but it's not any activity that takes your eyes off the road and your hands off the wheel, your mind off a distraction, and a distraction is trouble. Distracted driving has been linked to as many as 1 in 4 car crashes. It kills and injures hundreds of thousands of people annually. Distraction comes in many forms. Putting on makeup, combing your hair, adjusting your sound system, answering your supervisor's phone call, settling down the kids in the back seat. You can control your own distractions, but what you can do about the other guy is if you find yourself sharing the road with a distracted driver, be careful. Assume they don't see you pull ahead or drop behind to give them the right of way. Aggressive driving is another bad habit you could avoid yourself, but it can always escape in others' aggressive driving. Pushing the speed limit, cut off other vehicles, fail to signal the turns, merge recklessly, and take a lot of other risks with their lives and yours. So you need to be prepared to defend yourself against the most common type of aggressive driver. These are the tailgaters. They're always pushing because they want to go faster. Tailgaters follow right behind your car, ignoring the possibilities of rear-ending you. If you stop quickly when driving defensively, the best way to eliminate the threat from those tailgaters is just to let them pass. Yes, that is correct. Let them pass you. If possible, change lanes to get out of their way. Otherwise, slow down and keep the right. If they can't or won't pass, turn your emergency flashers on, slow down, and pull over to the side of the road so they can go around you, due to the fact that those aggressive drivers will come back and they turn into road rage. Some aggressive drivers are especially dangerous because they're angry. They're the ones with road rage. Each year, there are thousands of reports of road rage drivers yelling at one another, making obscene gestures, even using their vehicles like weapons. So what should you do if you find yourself on the receiving end of another driver's road rage? Rule number 1 is making eye contact with an angry driver. Do not make eye contact with an angry driver. They see it as a challenge, and it only increases their rage. Remain calm, ignore the gestures and shouts, do not return them. To get away from the angry drivers as quickly and safely as possible, leave the road you're on, if necessary. If they keep following you, take the threats seriously. Do not stop or leave your vehicle. Stay on the well-traveled road. Look for a police officer or drive to the nearest police station. We do not want to see this as a company. We do not want to be throwing things outside of the vehicle either, any kind of objects. When we're driving at night, we've already mentioned that more than half of all accidents happen at night driving. When it's dark is more of a dangerous period. So driving defensively by slowing down and using extra caution is simply common sense. Don't wait until it gets too hard to see before you switch on your headlights. Do it when the lights begin to fade at dusk and switch them on in a gloomy and sloppy weather as well. When rain, snow, or other conditions require you to turn on your windshield wipers, make a habit of turning on your headlights. Never drive using your parking lights or fog lights. They simply just won't do the job. You need to adjust your speed at night, as well as if you're driving too fast, you'll overdrive your headlights. We do not want to overdrive our headlights. So that's the distance your vehicle needs to stop will be greater than the distance you can see. This means you're going too fast to react in time to what your headlights are showing you. High beams can extend your reaction time a bit because they led up the road further ahead, and you should use them as much as possible. But remember, your high beams can blind drivers in the cars in front of you, so switch to low beams when the spray of your light reaches that of the bumper of the oncoming car. Sometimes your high beams can even blind you. Don't use them in fog or snow. A lot of that light will only be reflected right back at you. Bad weather makes special demands on your automobile and on your attention and ability as a driver. So don't wait for trouble. Driving defensively in these situations begins with preparation. First, make sure you've got a good ice scraper tool on board, which will be issued to all the D&D lift vehicles in November of this year. Make sure you inspect your tires for plenty of tread on them to make sure you're being safe. When your tires get worn out, let's make sure we replace them and make sure your windshield wipers are in a good shape too. Check that you have plenty of non-freezing washer fluid to help your wipers do their job. Bad weather brings rain, snow, and ice, of which can break that grip, so you need to know how to stay out of trouble. Apply your brakes sooner to coming to a stop. Slow down before you get to the turns and curves, and always depress the brake pedal slowly and gradually. This will help you keep control of your car, but if the worst happens, you need to understand how to get that control back. Skidding occurs when one or more of your vehicle's wheels lose friction with the road. If you start to skid, don't slam on the brakes. This robs you of whatever friction and control you may have left instead. Slow down by easing your foot off the gas pedal, then regain control by steering with the direction of the skid. If your back end is skidding to the right, steer to the right. If it skids to the left, steer to the left. Another zero friction road problem is hydroplaning. This happens when there's too much water on the pavement. The grooves in your tires can't handle it and the rubber loses contact with the road. If you begin to hydroplane, do not use your brakes. Instead, ease your foot off the gas as you slow down. Your wheels will reconnect with the road and you'll regain control. Murphy's Law states that even people who drive defensively can sometimes get a flat tire. So you need to know how to react if one finds you. Not all flat tires go bang, but the ones that do are called blowouts and very dangerous. With the blowout, the tire goes flat quickly, suddenly creating more friction with the road, and that will pull your car sharply to the side. To maintain control of your vehicle, you need to act. Do not use the brakes. That will only make your car pull to the side more violently. You actually need to accelerate instead. Keep a firm grip on your steering wheel and compensate for the pull of the flat by turning the wheel the other way. Once you regain control, slow down and turn on your emergency flasher signals and move slowly to the shoulder or breakdown lane. Then get to a safe flat surface well away from the traffic if possible. If you have a spare tire and the correct tools, how many of you know how to change a tire? Go ahead and put the spare on. Alternatively, raise your hood or tie something white to your radio antenna or door handle to alert the other drivers. Because driving defensively is especially important when you're sharing the road with vehicles like school buses, mail trucks, or delivery vans. All these are likely to stop unexpectedly, and when they do, there's often pedestrian activity as well. To avoid this trouble, add at least a couple seconds extra. Following distance when you're behind them, and stay alert for kids darting across the road or a delivery person jumping out of the driver's side door. Big rigs and tour buses present their own set of challenges. One problem with these vehicles is obvious. Their size. A tractor trailer can weigh up to 80,000 pounds, and at 50 miles per hour, it requires at least 300 feet to brake to a standstill. Trucks and buses have bigger blind spots too. You want to stay out of these. Remember, if you can't see the side mirrors on a truck's cab, then you're invisible to its driver. If you've ever been passed by a big truck on the highway, you probably felt what's called buffeting. This happens when the air of the truck is pushing out of its way to hit your car hard enough to push you off course when you're passing or being passed by a truck, bus, or RV. Keep both your hands on the steering wheel as the air pressure pushes your car from the larger vehicle, and steer gently into the push, but remember not to overcorrect. So we've discussed a lot of ways that you can defend yourself on the road. Let's review some of these. Create a safety cushion around your vehicle. Whenever you're in traffic, don't be a distracted or aggressive driver yourself and stay away from them on the road. Turn on your headlights at dusk and in bad weather. Maintain a moderate speed so you don't overdrive them, and know what to do if you have a blowout or other emergency. Prepare your vehicle and yourself for safe driving in bad weather. Make sure you use your brakes carefully, steer with the direction of skids, allow trucks, buses plenty of space, and watch out for buffeting. The road is a dangerous place, but you can lower the risk by driving defensively. Whether you're dealing with this bad weather, bad drivers, or just plain bad luck, you can defend yourself and arrive at the end of your journey safely. One's luck may run out at any time, but safety is good for life.